Hello, my friends. I am reborn Matt Sydal, and you are watching AMBY, Peace, Love, and Pro Wrestling.
Hey everyone, it's Alicia from AMBY, and I would like to welcome you to my interview with Matt Sydal. Hello.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm excellent.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
I love being backstage at pro wrestling events on a Sunday, so there's nothing I would rather be doing.
As do I. Well, it's a very exciting day. It is Impact's Bound for Glory, and you will soon be stepping into the ring for the X Division Championship. Really hoping you got a win here. How are you feeling going into it?
Oh my God, I have had my hopes set on this X Division title since 2003 when I used to drive 8 hours from St. Louis to Nashville just to try out for this company. I used to watch these matches and held them in the highest regard. To me, the X Division is the pinnacle of professional wrestling, and you're looking at the next X Division champion.
You said that it was actually a belt with your name on it from the very beginning. So what is it about that division that really stands out to you? What connects?
Man, that X is the variable. It is the absurdity of pro wrestling in that it falls into no categories. I don't believe in categorization. I don't believe in boundaries. That's why I like the X Division, because there's no limits on it.
And there are a lot of people in this match, speaking to no limits. So are you a little bit nervous to go toe-to-toe with anybody, or are you just going in there head up high?
If you were to ask the other 5 opponents, I would imagine they would say they are much more nervous than I am. Because for me, if you overthink things and you try and over-prepare, you end up overthinking things in the ring. For me, I wait. When things happen, I just react. That's my game plan. My game plan is to be so well trained, be perfect technically, to be as physically as prepared as I can be, and know my opponents inside and out. And then when I see that coming, it's just a little to the left, a little to the right, rather than having to overthink it and have a bunch of, oh, what if the guy hits me from behind? Then just hit me from behind. That's Zen style, you know. If it's going to happen, it just happens, and I'll let it happen. And I imagine it's going to get reckless. I imagine it's going to get violent. I hope it doesn't get too bloody. You know, I like to keep things above the board. But to be honest, at Bound for Glory, everybody has a statement to make. Everybody wants to have the spotlight on them. They want to have the camera on them. Specifically, I want the camera on me. I want the spotlight on me. And to do that, I have to beat 5 guys and become the X Division champion.
Well, I'm wishing you the best of luck with that.
Well, I think that just might work.
One of the beautiful things about wrestling is how it takes you all over the place. You've wrestled India, you've had Peru, Korea, so many amazing spots. But is there anywhere you would love to take your craft that you have yet to?
Well, I would like to have the first wrestling match on the moon.
Okay.
Maybe I'll talk to Elon Musk about going to Mars. That would be incredible. However, there are a few places that have eluded me, specifically Italy and Egypt. I would like to wrestle in front of the pyramids. I think we could have a great show there. I really like reaching out to people from all across the world. And in all my travels, I found people say, oh, what's the crowd like in London? Or what are they like in Tokyo? And I say, everybody's the exact same. We're all a part of one large culture. The countries are borders because it helps culturally, and there's language barriers. But the reality is when you get to a wrestling event,
we're all fans.
Language doesn't matter, and everybody's the same. Everybody lets loose and has fun. And so I don't notice the differences between the cultures. I notice the commonalities, and that's what I'm out here to beat the drum on. We're all one. We're all one group. We're all in this together. It's one big human race, and I would like to represent the human race as X Division champion Matt Sydal.
I love that. You keep chugging away. I feel like everyone's gonna be watching this. Like, it's happening.
You
gotta believe in yourself, or it's not gonna happen.
The momentum's going. We're moving forward, and it's not that I think less of the other guys in there. It's just there's one person I've always bet on my entire life, and that's myself.
Something that I love about watching you wrestle are all of the high-flying maneuvers that you were able to pull off. Now, I know that there's, of course, some risk when you pull off things like that. So what would you say is the worst bump, injury, even cut that you have had from being in that ring?
Well, tonight I will be getting some payback from the worst thing that's ever happened to me in the ring. I tried to give Trevor Lee a Hurricane Rana off the top rope months ago, and he threw me down. All respect to him, I didn't get my legs. Like, you got to cross your ankles on behind the head. Otherwise, if you don't get them crossed, they can kind of slide you off. I don't mean to get too technical here, but people enjoy the technicalities of wrestling and the intricacies. And so anyway, I slid right off him, straight down essentially on my head, and my shoulder literally dislocated all the way out of the socket. And as I watched the match finish, I just turned and walked to the back and screamed, "Is there a doctor here?" And thank God there was. They put my shoulder back in place. But that was the definition of high risk, high reward. Had I hit that Rana, my team probably would have won that match. Had we been able to execute flawlessly, it would have happened. But that's you. If you don't take the risk, you can't find out. And for me, I throw caution to the wind and I leap off the, I take the step off the precipice and just assume it's going to be a feather bed on the other side. And sometimes you get hit by a train. But if you have that hesitation in your mind, if you don't think you're going to go landing on that feather bed, then you shouldn't be doing it, And I try and remove that hesitation, that doubt from my mind. But I'll be honest, I have that lingering shoulder injury hanging over me, and I have a little payback I want to dish out.
Okay, so it's even more fuel to the fire for you, isn't it?
Man, I would like to light Trevor Lee on fire, yes. But I won't. There's too much body hair. It would smell terrible. Instead, I'll just beat him for the X Division title, because it would really, it would just be like a thorn in his side forever.
Okay.
So.
Well, something I wanted to bring up, because I thought it was awesome, is of course you've been a wrestling fan since you were a kid, but you actually used to wrestle with some of your friends growing up, just kind of for fun. So did you have any gimmicks back then?
Not just for fun. I was one of the best backyard wrestlers in all of St. Louis. My group of friends would find other backyard wrestlers, travel to where they were, and we would just throw down and wrestle each other. It's just been what I've been doing. I've just been chasing it down. I never got into it to be famous. I never got into it to be on TV. I didn't even get into it to have the platform that I have now, which is one of my favorite things about it, is being able to speak my mind and have this platform. However, back then, I just dreamed of being inside a wrestling ring. And I thought it was the coolest thing. So we found other kids who had other wrestling federations, and they had a ring. But then by the time I was 16, I had the money and the know-how. I was working in a metal shop, so I torched out some 4x4 metal posts and essentially built myself a ring in the backyard. And then I enjoyed bossing all my friends around and my brothers around and organizing my own backyard wrestling federation. And this is at a time when everyone said, don't try it at home, don't do this at home. And I want to encourage everybody to try it at home. Do whatever feels good. You guys get it. You can play football at home, play wrestling at home. The more people do it on their own, the more they can connect. As guys watching wrestling, and I'm sure you've done it with your friends, throwing a few knife edge chops in your day, right? Have you not done it? It's fun. But then you understand what they're going through in the ring. You feel it a little bit more. It's a little bit more personal.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah, and if you play high school football, you know what the routes are when you watch the NFL. If you wrestle with your friends, then you kind of can see what's going on at a deeper layer of wrestling, and it makes it, then you think you know what's coming, and then we swerve you again and keep you on your toes, and that's what, that's the fun of it. And so, yeah, I was a very accomplished backyard wrestler. Then I started paying local indie wrestling federation to train, and I was like, man, these guys stink compared to me and my boys. And I kept that under my hat. And after a while, I just started to branch out the same way I did it in the backyard. I started to branch out, and that's what got me to Impact Wrestling in the first place. When I was basically my sophomore year of college and junior year was when I was really trying to get in with this company. And that meant driving 8 hours on a Wednesday to Nashville to just get on and possibly lose a 2-on-1 match to Abyss. Can't tell you how many times that happened. But I took my licks and I kept growing and I kept getting better and learning new strategies and just being the synergy of being backstage and being around people who were pushing the limits of pro wrestling as far as they can go. All that rubbed off on me. I started going to Japan, and it wasn't long before I, started really having a career in this business. And for someone who never expected that, I just thought I would be some guy who worked during the week and would wrestle on the weekends. Yeah. So this becoming my total focus, when I quit the job and put everything I had on wrestling, that's when I bet on myself, and that's what I'm doing tonight. The bet's gonna pay off. I don't have a gambling problem, but if I did, it would be a good gambling problem.
I love the passion and drive, and it's amazing that you've always had it.
Well, it's nothing's consistent. Everything wavers. It goes up and down, just like the wonderfulness of life. But at this present moment, I couldn't be more excited. And actually talking to you about this match and making me think about it only gets me more excited and puts a little bit of pressure on me. But without the challenge and without the pressure, it wouldn't be as fun. If I wasn't completely nervous and like having that feeling where I need water and I have to pee and oh my God, I got to go out there and wrestle. Like if I didn't feel that before I went out there every time, I wouldn't show up. If it was just as casual, go out there and dance around. No, that's not for me.
It means you care.
Yeah, it's life or death out there. Have you seen the guys I have to wrestle? If you see a kick coming and you're not there protecting yourself, you're going to get knocked out and you're going to look like a fool in front of everybody. The risks are so high in this X division. I have 5 other guys in this match that over here, one over there, one over there. If we sit around here and talk about it too much, I'll get too nervous. But I can tell from the look in your eyes that you have a lot of confidence in me.
That I do.
And honestly, I'll look out at the crowd when I'm out there wrestling, and I can kind of tell who believes in me and who doesn't. And man, if I see enough people rooting for me, it's like, okay. Like that confidence helps me a little bit, it gives you a little bit of motivation. And, I don't want to let down my fans at all.
Of course.
I do the best I can. MattsYdal on Instagram, Matt Sydal. Follow me on Instagram, hit me up, let me know if you're having some fun. You can hit me up on Instagram too. I'll follow you right back.
That I will.
Don't doubt that.
I wanted to talk music with you because I was wondering, with all of the traveling that you do, is it hard for you to catch concerts?
So I lived this huge portion of my life in a sad void, completely devoid of concerts. Because on Friday and Saturday night, I wrestle. Mm-hmm. I'm putting on the rock show. People are singing my songs and we're dancing along. That's what I enjoy. But when I got injured, oh my God, I took in so many concerts and stand-up comedy shows.
Awesome.
Man, I got to see Wilco, like front row, live, just smashing it. I've got to see a few good concerts, but like, for example, I'll go to just about any concert, but my friends, before I left for this tour, everybody was going to this 311 concert, and it's you know what? I said, it'd be nice to go, but guess what? Wrestling calls, and there's no other concert I'd rather be at than wrestling. And plus, we got good music here. They jam out,
That's
but
true.
Nothing does compare to watching the musicians make the music themselves. I kind of live in the hippie festival world. All my yoga friends are going to Burning Man and doing that kind of stuff, and I'm into it, but I just have adapted wrestling to be my Burning Man. To me, it's my festival, and I would love to do a kind of a 3-day festival of wrestling arts, because the things that make me love wrestling now more than ever, it's not watching wrestling on TV. It's definitely not watching on TV. Watching it live is
exhilarating. I love it.
It's exhilarating. But then the artwork that the fans are making of my favorite wrestlers, when I see and they're my friends too that are my favorite wrestlers, but when I see an artist interpret what they're putting out there with their eyes and their watercolor or some kind of chalk painting, or making little dolls of us, the creativity that we inspires right back. And I think the people who are in the art and music community help us out by putting their artwork out there. And wrestling's a creative expression, same way with painting or music. We get to kick each other in the face too. So you get to get it all out.
It's a nice added bonus.
But the way you feel when you're done with a concert, your legs are exhausted, your feet hurt, you're shaking.
You're feeling that tenfold.
Yeah, I get that every night and getting that sweat on. So when you see me at a concert, if you see me out there, I get into it. Like I went to the Flaming Lips, and that was the absolute most fun.
Isn't the ball in the middle of the crowd?
Yeah, when Wayne Cohn is walking on a ball over you, he also rode a unicorn out, and I'm a high flyer. I was flying high at this concert, and the music took on new meaning. The lyrics were more profound, and I just left with just so much love in my heart. And they, the Flaming Lips get a message out there of community, of love, and man, they can jam. It was just a concert like that can change it changed my life instantaneously. And you're just able to sit around with your friends and have memories that you can share for a long time. So, the music's great, but it was really the memories that I took back from that meant the most to me. And that's the way it was when me and my brothers would go watch wrestling together. And man, there was a bunch of good matches. I can't tell you all of them, but I can tell you the jokes that we made during the show, and the way it made us feel, the way when, if my brothers love The Undertaker and I love Mick Foley, and they're going head to head, that's fun. The fun is not just the match, but it's the interaction between the people there. And that that's what I want to see tonight. When I look into the crowd, I want to see people connecting with the people around them. It's this time where you can actually put your phone down and just be a part of something. And
it's
wrestling,
a community,
yes,
on.
And wrestling's, it's like music. It's this symbiotic relationship that the crowd is a part of the show, and the show is a part of the crowd, and the show extends out from the ring. The ring might be the epicenter, but it travels to all the way up to the highest rafters, man. And we can feel them, and I can hear, my ear has been tuned in a fashion that I've been wrestling for so long, that I can hear the crowd off to the right, up to the top, over here to the left, to the side. And especially when I'm down on the mat, I can hear the rumble over here and the rumble over there and the rumbles merging, and it just, the ethereal feeling vibrates right through you, and it comes out. I'm getting them right now, standing up on the back of my neck like Stranger Things, like that shot in Stranger Things where the hair stands up on the back of their neck. It's good stuff. Yeah.
I love hearing this because I started my website loving music and wrestling and just the way that it brings people together, the community. So it's awesome to hear a wrestler talk about music and the musicians I've interviewed talk about wrestling. So it's great to be on the same page.
Musicians like wrestling?
They do.
Yeah, yes, that's awesome.
Well, to wrap things up, I do want to leave it with the fans. Is there anything you would like to say to all of those who will be viewing?
Yes, I mean, thank you guys for watching me. I already plugged my Instagram, Matt Sydal. It's very simple. Simple. We are all one. We'll cover that. Think for yourselves and question everything. Peace, love, and pro wrestling.
Beautifully put. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. What a treat.
And remember, to everyone viewing, you can visit us at musicblogger.com for all exclusive interviews, features, videos, and so much more. See ya.